This is how I make sure guests never walk into an unclean house. All right, so those are the primary things that I'm doing right now to make sure guests never check into a dirty house now that I have as many listings that I'm dealing with, and it's hard to keep track of everything. So I'm currently managing over 50 listings, getting close to 60. And in my opinion, the cardinal sin, the number one thing you can't ever do is let guests walk into a dirty home. And this happened to me twice in the last 30 days. And it hasn't happened to me 2 times in literally the last 2 years. It was basically like a skirt pivot to this problem. I'm diving in, this has to get fixed now. And here's what I've done so far. What I've been doing is I've been meeting every day, every morning with my cleaning coordinators and my frontline managers. The first thing I did is I asked my cleaning coordinator, how many check-ins do we have today? Then a minute or 2 later, he said, how many? I don't know, 10. I said, okay, how many of them need to be cleaned? And he goes back and he starts counting some more, and a minute later, he tells me, right? The point I wanted to get across here is like, the first thing you should do is know this. How many people are checking in and how many are at risk of checking into an unclean home? This is our new #1 priority. If it wasn't clear before, this is #1, right? You will lose your job if a guest walks into a dirty house. And so this is what it looks like. This is what we developed. At first, I was just asking him and I was taking notes, but we turned this into a spreadsheet. And this is how he starts every day. He lists the number of check-ins that we have. Then we have other metrics that we counted. How many checkouts do we have? Because those should get cleaned right away. How many of those are same-day turnovers? These are highest risk. So there's 1 of those this day, right? 3 this day, 6 on this day. You get the idea. 21 are clean, 2 need to clean. And then what I had him do, or what I have my cleaning coordinators do now, is I have them get eyes on, right? Because we have our cleaners take photographic evidence of everything they claim that they cleaned. What the cleaning coordinator who is counting does, when he checks in to count properties, I mean, standard procedure is when their photos are delivered via an app we use called Breezeway, our coordinator is supposed to go through them and make sure the house actually does look clean, provide any feedback to the cleaners. 20 are supposed to be clean, supposedly clean. Well, open up the app, just get eyes on that all the pictures were delivered, and that communication from the cleaning coordinator that day that clean was executed was delivered. Just, you can tell pretty quickly by looking at it, they're like, okay, it was in fact clean. This is not a mismark. This is not something that's dirty that's being marked clean. There's photos, there's back and forth communication between cleaning coordinator that day. It has been double verified. So we introduced this double verification process. Every day when you're counting properties that are clean, according to our software, right? Basically, double check it to make this process efficient, but at the end of the day, making sure that we're sealing a crack that dirty properties we're slipping through. Let's first establish just the #1 priority. No one walks into a dirty house ever. And if it does ever happen again, a cleaning coordinator on shift loses their job. And I said it just like that. You count your check-ins and your checkouts, you subtract your same-day turnovers. So this is just another check, right? These are just a bunch of checks and balances combined together. We'll make the sheet fit our counts, not our counts fit the sheet, if that makes sense. This is where my cleaning coordinator team starts their day every day. I'm actually having them start their shift 30 minutes early, because our cleaners and our internal team, they kind of expect them to be there at a certain time. They can start bombarding them with messages and this, that, and the third thing. And I want them to have a moment of silence to count how many properties need to be cleaned and be intimately familiar with what your day looks like today. You've got 39 things here that you have to do every day, right? How do you decide what your priorities are when you have 39? Because if you have 39 priorities, you have no priorities, right? My first thought is like, we need to cut this list down. But one thing I did, I said, let's take a look at this checklist. And so we operate our checklist in ClickUp right now. It's currently what we're using. It's pretty good. And so our clearing coordinators have a daily checklist. And that's it. This is priority 1, lose your job if you fail it. Manager, double check, right? So that's what we've been doing. So far, so good. I just needed to make sure that properties are consistently, always and forever, have been cleaned before guests walk in. And I feel a lot better about it today than I did 2 weeks ago when I was like, what the f is going on here?